Hello, everybody. I'm back. This is Embrace Gaming once again, coming to you from Embrace Marriage Ministries. And we thank God for you being with us and um, joining us once again. uh, so, right now, like I said, we are making sure that everything is fine. So far, I'm doing pretty good. So, so everything is everything. Making sure I'm okay as far as my stuff, and then we can get started. I'm gonna go ahead and go into. Well, I'm actually going to do a lesson right quick, and I'll get rid of that, and I'll find out later. Yeah, I'm gonna go into a lesson that is on my heart. It's a pretty good lesson as far as what we. It was something that we had talked about a good while back. Um, And actually, it was what motivated me to actually want to do this lesson was I saw a movie. If you ever get a chance to get this movie is called Like Arrows. Um, it is it's a Christian movie based on it was written by that Kendrick brothers, Alex and Steven. I think their name is Alex Steven Kendricks. The same ones that wrote Fireproof and Courageous and Flywheel and Facing the Giants and those movies like that. Those are the guys that did those movies. Um, they did this movie called Like Arrow. We just ran across it on, I think it was on Netflix. Ran across it not too long ago, and it was a movie based on this family. This couple actually, they did a 50-year history of this family from them uh, first getting married all the way up to their 50th anniversary and the things that happened during their times and how they handled their family and how they deal with their different things. Um, and the actual thing, the lesson itself is not going to be um, from that, but I'm gonna use this as a backdrop. The actual verse that I want to use. So, um, let's see. The actual one I use is in Genesis 44. Actually 43. It was based on the story of Joseph. Joseph, by this time, was in Egypt. Had been in Egypt since he was sold to slavery by his brothers to the Ishmaelites, and they brought him to Egypt. And they had not known anything about Joseph, whether he was alive or dead. Joseph was sold to Potiphar. Uh, Potiphar and God blessed Joseph so much that Potiphar put him over his whole estate. He was his chief steward, and this blessing was on Joseph to take care of his estate. Well, if you're familiar with the story of Joseph, which is a pretty good story of restoration, Joseph was sold by his brothers because of a dream. Joseph made reference to the dreams that he was having. Even his father thought that he was kind of out there. So his brother was jealous of him because of the way that their father treated him as well. It's kind of correlates to what I'm talking about. It's a family thing. And these are brothers. He was the next to the last son. Benjamin was the youngest, and he was the only brother that was born to Rachel. All the rest of them were Leah's sons and Milpah and uh, Pilah and Milpah, his concubines. So he had 12 sons. That was a blessing for a man to have that many sons at that in that time. So what happened? Um, get my stream back up, my chat. People might be talking. I don't even know it. Okay, what happened was he ended up um, putting Joseph in charge of watching his brothers because he didn't trust them. That's his oldest one. His oldest one tried to sleep with his concubines. Um, his two of his other two sons killed men when they were not able to defend themselves. He had some issues with the boys, I'm telling you. And so what happened? Uh, Joseph, I think he was like 14, and so he gave him a coat of many colors, which was like a coat of honor. He had intended to make Joseph his heir instead of Reuben, who was his oldest. So what he ended up doing, they ended up throwing him in a pit. They were going to just put him there to teach him a lesson, but they intended to kill him for real. So they threw him in the pit, and had the mind to kill him, but Judah and Reuben were the ones that kind of saved him. Judah was like, well, why kill him? Let's sell him. This is Saudi Ishmaelites, go and get some money from him. But by the time Reuben was going to take him out, but by the time he got there back with the rope to bring him out, they had already sold him to the Ishmaelites. So he was gone forever. So they concocted this lie about how Joseph was killed on the way to them, and they took his cloak and dipped it in blood and brought it back to the father. And the father thought he was dead. So they lived this lie for like 20 something years. Okay. So here we are. Joseph is in Egypt. Joseph is living amongst people that served a totally different God. But one thing about Joseph, even though Joseph was in a land of pagans and land that didn't serve the God he served, Joseph still maintained his relationship with the Lord. No matter what circumstances was, he put God first in his life. So fast forward, Joseph was made prime minister, or made the second in charge of Egypt. Now, by this time, it was a famine because he had spoken about a dream that interpreted the dream that Pharaoh had. It was 14 years of a 14-year dream. 7 was of prosperity and 7 was of famine. So now we're at this point in this book, this story, where he was actually in charge, and he had children. He got married. He had 2 sons, and so Manasseh and Ephraim. So he's in his house, and people were coming to Egypt because Egypt had grain. So their father, the boy's father, said, "Why y'all sitting there looking at stupid?" Basically, is what he says. And why are you looking at each other? He's looking at one another. So why are you looking and sitting and looking stupid? There's grain in Egypt. Why we see it and starve? You sitting here looking crazy. Why don't you go to Egypt, and I'll give you money, and you go and buy some grain for us? So he sent all 11 of them. Well, he sent 10 because he kept Benjamin there because he ain't trust him. So he sent all the 10 brothers to go and get grain for the family. So they were there. They went at first and got grain. Joseph recognized them. He kind of gave them a hard time at first. Say they were spies and whatnot. So what happened? They gave them their grain. They bought the grain, gave them their grain. But he took one of the sons, Simeon, as a hostage, and he told him that he would keep him if he would bring back the youngest brother, because he asked about it, father, and who if he had any other brothers. And one of them told him, well, there was one there, so he kept one of the brothers, and so 9 of them came back. And he told him what they did, and he was like, nope, I'm not sending him back. So they sat there until all the grain was gone, and so they decided, okay, what you want to do now? So he ended up sending Benjamin along with the money, because when they came back, they were leaving. They realized the money that he had given each of them was in the sack of grain. So they were like scared, because it was like, oh my God, our money is in our sacks. Like, so we didn't pay for this grain. They're gonna come back and kill us. So they left. They didn't come right back. And so he sent double payment. So what he did, he sent the money that they had plus some more to get some more grain, pay for the grain that they already had eaten, and to pay for some more to get. And he sent Benjamin this time because that was the only way they was gonna see Joseph's face, who was Zapnapanea at the time. The only way that they would see him was to bring his brother. So they bring Joseph the grain money, and the money that he had, and also Benjamin. So, but this time they agreed a little different. He had prepared a feast for him and sat them down in the order that they were born. They didn't get it. I mean, no one knew about the order where they were born. It says someone was to know that. The only person who would know that would be family, their own family. They kind of noticed it, but they didn't really pay attention to it. Joseph sat apart from them because the Egyptians didn't eat with their slaves, because basically they weren't slaves, but he didn't eat with the foreigners, so they kind of separated themselves. So he was at a separate table. Now the scripture says that he had taken off of his plate. I'm gonna read the scripture itself, and it says, "In a way to serve Joseph," this Genesis 43:32 through 34. The way to serve Joseph at his table, and his brothers were separate at a separate table. The Egyptians who ate with Joseph sat at their own table because the Egyptians despised Hebrews and refused to eat with him. Oh God. Joseph told each of his brothers where to sit, and to their amazement, he seated them according to age from the oldest to the youngest. And Joseph was filled their plates with food from his own table, giving Benjamin 5 times as much as he gave the others. So they drank and feasted freely with him. So, what he did, the scripture the topic that I had was the blessing one behind you, because Joseph was the actual next to the last person to be born, and Benjamin was the last son. Blessing the ones behind you is basically the idea of the things that God had shown you over the years, and the things that God had taught you over the years. You pass them on to those that are coming after you, which will be your children, your grandchildren, in some cases great grandchildren. Passing on that legacy, passing on that blessing, giving them more than the former generation had received. He gave him of his own table. He gave him of his own sustenance, his own produce, his own supply. Gave him more than what he had and what he had received in return. Joseph went through a lot of stuff, and he had to go through a period of forgiveness. He had to go through a period of understanding that that's still my family, and I miss my family, and I want them with me. And he was doing his part of reconciliation. Now, how this movie ties in with what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a lot of spoilers. If you've never seen the movie, I'm finna ruin it. This couple, Charlie and Alice was the name of the couple. The movie starts off basically them meeting. They were dating at the time. They weren't. She went through a rough. She had a real rough, dominant mother, and I kind of can relate because my mom was domineering and real dominant woman, and she sowed a lot of bad seed in her. And so they show her as a baby doing something, and she mom just criticized her real bad and put that seed in. Well, we fast forward to when she was older, like in her 20s, I think. Him and Charlie, they had a baby out of wedlock. She got pregnant while they were dating, and so he decided they were supposed to get married. They were engaged at the time, and she got pregnant while they were engaged. So they ended up fixing it. So what they did, he proposed to her in the restaurant, took the lady's hair wrap out her head, used it as a ring, proposed to her in the midst of this restaurant, and and they got married at Justice of the Peace. Well, they didn't have a wedding or anything like that. They just got married, And so what ended up happening, they fast forward it, he had some kind of job. They really weren't clear as to what he did, um, he was they had their first son, uh, Ronnie, I think his name was. Had their first son, Ronnie. Ronnie was their firstborn. They had it at the home. I think they had it at home or they had it at the hospital. Well, anyway, they had him at home, I think, because I think I seen the bedroom. So they had Charlie and Dallas had Ronnie, their first son. Ronnie was uh, Ronnie was a little smart. He was a smart little boy, according to what they said. He was really smart, and so they were showing them going through the processes of trying to be good parents, and they were trying to raise Ronnie right, and raise him up to be a good young man. And the mother found herself talking like a mother and kind of barreling into him, and so she was frustrated because she was doing this by herself because he was always gone doing something as far as his job, and so he was hardly ever there, and she kind of bared the load by herself for a long time. Well, it was a strain on the marriage, of course, and so he fast forward to when he was in high school. They talking about he could pick any college that he could because he's on the 98th percentile of his class and of the state, and as far as his reading and comprehension and all this other stuff. The boy was smart. So they fast forward to that to when he got to college. Now they kind of tried to raise him up to be, because when she was younger, she met this for when she was pregnant still. She met this lady who was a nurse, and they kind of came together with another couple. They were in a church. They were in church. They were Christian, and so she invited her to church. And ever since then, she had started going to church. She had asked her husband, "Hey, let's start going to church as well." So he agreed, and so they started going to church, and they kind of connected with this couple. So he had a man that he could talk to, a Christian man that he could talk to. It was a black couple, so they were white. So it was good that they had a mixture, which is again where when you're in a church and in those kind of churches, and especially when you have multicultural churches, it's kind of a common thing. Because I had a lot of people who were in the church where I was. They were like that. Most of the people I knew, they were Caucasian because the church mainly was a Caucasian church before that he had made a multicultural present pastor. So the church on that, they actually are like that. Some of you, I was used to seeing that, and it was good that he had a guy that was he could be accountable to, who could talk to him about some things and talk through some things with him. And because a lot of times a man, he needs that. He needs to be able to share some things that he can share without having to share it with his wife all the time. So he goes on and talks to him about the situation with, um, what's going on in his life and whatnot. And it kind of, he has to get him to understand what she's dealing with. Now they had kids as well. I think they had like two or three of them, and so they had they had a boy and a girl at the time, and she was pregnant with another one. So they each had about a bunch of kids. So she got pregnant again, had a girl, and her name was Kate. Now they had fast forward to when he went to college. Ronnie went to college. Ronnie was kind of, they turned an atheist because they raised him up in the ways of the Lord, and he basically just turned an atheist. He trying to find himself or whatever. He went to college and basically had nothing to do with God and basically had nothing to do with them. And so he was just really ugly to his mother, and he just left. He had not shown his face for a long time. They hadn't heard from him. They found out he had a son through Facebook, and his sister who one found it. Now, at home, they had another kid. They had another girl they adopted, uh, and she was Faye. She was from China, so she was Chinese. So then they had another son, um, which was Josh, I think. And Josh told the little girl that she wasn't his real mom. They weren't their real parents. Kids can be cruel. Mm. But Kate was having problems with Kate because Kate was a teenager, being a teenager, doing what teenagers do. A lot of rebellious teenagers, not all of them, because most teenagers I know are not that bad. They really, really are good kids, and all of them are, I believe, to a certain degree, are good kids. They just misguided, because, like I say, you have to train up. You know, the Bible says to train away your child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. But it does not mean to train him like you would like a dog or something. Train means to guide, to bend, because what it is gives you an idea of a tree, or better yet, I'll give you an idea of a plant, like a tomato plant. You tie a tomato plant when it gets a certain age to a vine, so it knows to grow up that stick. If you don't, it will run along the ground and make tomatoes on the ground. But if you put it where it will go up, or train and put it on something where it'll follow a path that has already been set for it. One thing they noticed, that they really weren't doing the guiding. What made him come to this realization, he was, like I say, he was never there. He was always gone. She didn't have any male figure in her life, so therefore she turned to these little dudes. She had one guy. Well, the turning point of this was this one guy. She was dating, tried to rape her, and her dad come out there and saw him push her out the car, and saw the guy push her out the car. So they both realized that we weren't doing our job like we should. So what they started doing, they started making, they realized they're wrong, and they realized where they need to change. And they went to this parenting thing, and it was talking about arrows, like arrows in the hands of a mighty man, so children are blessed, in that scripture. So they had to write certain things about them on this arrow thing, and so they went to this class. They decided to go, and it gave them a lot of insight, and it helped them to redefine and reshape the way they deal with their kids. So what they started doing is started put the Bible first in their lives. They started putting God before them, and every day, every night, they would read the Word of God together. And so they did this for years. And first, it turned out pretty good, as a matter of fact, because then the kids started guiding and going the right way, and put a faith in them that they believe God. And so they fast forward it. See, this is a lot of years. They jumped like 15 years, 5 years, 7 years, 15 years, and then he jumped up to like 27 years. And so they jumped up to the point where Kate got married. So she became the oldest child. She was going to get married. She advised her little sister how to carry herself. Ronnie at the time. Oh, I forgot about tell you about Josh, the other one. The Josh had developed a skill to cook. He became a really good cook. So they showed him growing up, going to culinary school, becoming a cook. So he ended up, and later on, they showed him, who was Alex Kendrick, by the way, played the youngest son, as a grown man, as a caterer. He owned his own catering company, and so he catered for them for their 50th anniversary. But he did the food for the wedding and everything like that when he was talking about the wedding. So they were still trying to get a hold of Ronnie. That's during this time is when they found out he had a child, a grandson. He had a grandson. And during that time, she was having the wedding. She told him this, to won't worry about it. Don't let this ruin my day and your day too. So they went on, and he gave her away, gave a lovely, lovely speech, and gave it to her in a little book for her to keep that he had wrote down, handwritten. And so it goes on. I think after that, it jumped to the 27 years. Now, mind you, Ron didn't come to the wedding, and they gotten hold of him. his oldest the sister got a hold of him finally and told him that they was having their 50th anniversary and he wanted him to be there. So she left him a message. He was already on the road, and they were older. They were real old by then. It was looked like they was in their 70s maybe, and their children probably in their 50s. You know, I know Ronnie had to be in his 50s, 60s, something like that. Now, mind you, he had not seen his parents since he left college. It was 20, almost 30 years he had seen his parents. Hadn't talked to him, hadn't communicated with him. They left him messages. They prayed for him, prayed for his kid. By that time, his grandson came to the wedding. No, he came to the anniversary service or dinner, and he with his wife. That man, the boy, was grown and got married his own self. He was in his 30s, I think, about that time, and was successful. So during this dinner, each of them gave a tribute to him, to the parents, of what they meant to them. And one of them they each gave him a plaque of these things they had written. Now, mind you, the son, Ronnie, was not there. He had just got there after, I think, the last one, which was Josh, read his. And once he did that, he walks in and he explains that, how that he really didn't get to know them because he was there and he hoped that his son would, and how that he was proud of him, and that you know, he just broke down, and his parents walked over to him and just hugged him and grabbed him. All the brothers and sisters came up and hugged him, and so it was a really wonderful moment. And so they were starting their relationship with them together. But the turning point in their lives was when they put God first and they decided, we're going to bless the ones behind us and put them in the place of blessing, and put them in the place of being successful, put them in the place of being loving, putting for God first. And we're trying to do the same thing. I know a lot of us, as parents, we have made a lot of mistakes and failed a lot of times. I know I have, and I know you listening to you, the parents, know what I'm talking about. I was young when we got married, and I made a lot of mistakes. But I said this time, because of the fact I have grandchildren, my wife woke me up to something that I had to be more accessible to them, and not them to be so fearful of me, because they view me as a fearful person, especially my twin granddaughters. And my wife gave me heads up on that. She told me they were scared of me because based on what the older ones were saying, because the older ones were really scared of me because I treated them a little different, because they did a lot of stuff and I had to correct them for it. And because of the fact that I corrected them for it, they they didn't get it. They thought it was just being mean, but they were young kids and they didn't understand, that correction was part of it. If I didn't love them, I wouldn't have. But then they perceived that as me being mean. So the twins didn't know that because they're the youngest and they didn't know that. So they never were really comfortable around me. And so I had to kind of be different. I had to be the grandfather that they would be glad to see, not scared to be around. And now they always ask about me. We talked about it. We took them on a trip. I was over on our Facebook page. You want to go to our Facebook page, go to our website, embracesmashtogether.com. And you can go to our Facebook link and on our thing, and you can check those pictures out. We took them on a trip. The guys had never been to a beach. We took them to the beach. So what we ended up doing, we had discussion on the way back about it. And so they shared. They're real smart girls. Talking about smart, they smart. They said now someone is scared is just the fact that what they were told by their brothers and sisters. They were scared. They said, yeah, my second oldest, the grandson, the oldest grandson, he's really scared. And I don't want them to have that image of me, Now I don't want to respect me, of course, but I don't want them to be scared of me at the same time. I want to be the type of man that they can look up to and not be scared to be around. And I want that legacy. And I know a lot of you guys that are raising children, you don't want that legacy either, because that was something that was happening with this guy in this movie. But if you ever get a chance, get this movie and look at it. If you want to know about the different phases families go through, and you want some inspiration, because it inspired us, check that out. But also check out the Word of God and pray to God and ask Him to make you that man and woman that God needs you to be to raise those kids. And He'll do it for you, because He did it for us. All right. Well, I spent a lot of time talking about that. And I think it's good that we do that, so that I go through the stream. It's gonna be till 1. I'm not streaming a whole lot. I play more about off stream than I do on stream. And so we're gonna get started. It's probably PlayStation probably done went off by now. All right, we're gonna switch over, and we're gonna get started. Like I say, it is Destiny, and
Help me help.
all right. Thanks for the alerts, Sashino. I love this music, this game, music in this game. I really do. I'll sit down one time just to listen to it. It's pretty good music. So basically, I'm gonna be kind of leveling up my character, really. On the bottom of here, to my this way, that thing right there, that's extra life. Extra life is something that we get involved in, and I'm gonna tell you about that later. I'm gonna announce it. We're gonna be doing a stream for it in the fall. I'm gonna go a few more days than one. I just started. I did a 12-hour stream. Didn't get too far in, as you can see. But what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna do a successive days. I'm gonna take time and just do the whole week and stream a few hours and take some time off to do it, maybe about 3-4 days, and stream for like my usual time, like 4 or 5 hours, and quit, and just kind of get more funds for us. But if you want to give to that, you can click on that link and you can donate, or you can type donate in the chat, and or extra life, exclamation extra life in the chat, and that'll give you a link for it. But we're trying to do as much as we can to help people, help families. Soon we'll be starting back our podcast. I'm kind of working on that right now. As you can see, I started a new Titan. Trying to level up to 50, so I can finish the story. It's her there. I got almost all that wing. I forgot what it is. That armor set right there. The arms don't go with it, but the arms are like blue. But the legs, I got the legs, the chest, and the helmet, but I need the arms. And I got the sash, but I need the arms now. And then I have a whole set. I did this in that color because that's my wife. That's for my wife's hunter, which I got to get to 700, a little over. So what I may do is there's my warlock, Mr. Special. I gotta we probably do some stuff starting with him. But I still got some stuff I hadn't finished. So that's what I'm doing, this grind. So we got so I'm through with that. I think I'm gonna do 2 mission stories. They got me as Fury. I could do Fury. The Gateway. And Infinity. Hmm. I'm gonna do the Gateway. So I want to get some stuff done. Let me change this. Oh, it's arc. Okay.
The traveler transformed Mercury into a garden world. It was a paradise, until the Vex came. The Vex replaced the planet's core with their own machines. We call it the Infinite Forest, an ever-expanding labyrinth of realities. No two paths are ever the same. No one has ever escaped. It was Osiris's obsession.
Welcome to Mercury, Guardian. The signs told me you would come.
What a coincidence. We follow the signs here too. And by signs, I mean facts.
That too is a sign. I am Brother Vance of the followers of Osiris, Keeper of the Lighthouse, and Oracle of the Lost Prophecies.
All right. Find a gateway to Infinite Forest.
There is a Vex gateway near your location. Osiris spent years studying it. He was convinced it was the door to the Infinite Forest. If it is still possible to find Osiris, we need to open that door.
Ikora Ray, Osiris's greatest student.
Brother Vance, Osiris's greatest fan.
Yes, Lord. He is the greatest fan of Osiris, boy. Alright. That's it. It's probably gonna be a little. I see. So I hope everybody's Monday's been going good. Mondays is usually a good thing to a lot of people. Unfortunately, I'm off on Mondays, so bad idea for stepping my line of sight. Honestly, I hate this game. I just ain't found one to replace it yet. Well, as soon as I do, I'll get some enough things where I can load, when I can change it to something else, I'm gonna change it.
am so pleased Osiris has brought you to me, his most faithful servant.
Considering how you revere a man who questions everything, I'm surprised how well faith serves you.
The Vex are at my door. Osiris has not returned. Faith is all I have left.
The gateway to the infinite forest. A place from which no one has ever returned. Not even Osiris.
The only thing about this thing is Mercury, you can't use your sparrow, and you don't ever see Osiris. You see Brother Vance, you don't ever see Osiris. Which sucks. I don't know why they put that. I guess that's why this particular DLC wasn't too popular with people, because it made no sense. Say, why would you put a guy in there that you'll never see again? He's not even in PC in the game. You just see him only in the story missions, if you see him at all. And it made no sense. And I guess that's why everybody like Warmind instead, because Warmind, at least you see Anna Bray. At least you see her. Also, too, I need to run a blind well. I'm gonna do that because I need to upgrade. Well, actually, my warlock, he's totally upgraded. But my wonderful hunter isn't. Hey, shoot at me. Stop that. Seriously? Let me get my two-tail, because this thing, yeah. Okay, my level. Good. Change all my stuff, and I shouldn't have. I think I got grenades. Yep. Shoot for distance, get him out of the way. Where you at?
Well, I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, let's get it. Seriously?
Can't get through. If Osiris's ghost were awake, then maybe she could help.
Osiris, preserve us. You have his ghost? Sagira? Please, please, bring her to me.
What in the devil? Yep, I had to fight my way out of this. These are different dudes. No way. Get ammo. Leave me alone. Leave me, please. I love this two-tailed fox. Man, I got all kind of heavy on the ground. I got enough power ammo. It's just relations though. It's pretty good. Scout rifle. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, he's hiding. Zip that.
These aren't normal Vex.
You think? Yeah, these Vex. Ooh. Kill 'em all. Now they're all dead. Oh, God, I'm surrounded. Come with me. Really? Oh, dude. Negative.
Take out the module. Vex from different timelines are converging on Mercury. That's bad.
Dang. There we go. Advance.
Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if Osiris hadn't sent you to me. In return, the followers of Osiris can help you revive his ghost. We have a hidden temple on Earth. Take Sagira to these coordinates. I will notify the followers that you are coming. Now that the lighthouse is safe, we can prepare for Osiris's return. All of the lost prophecies are coming to pass. I'm finally going to meet Osiris.
Alright. You give you a blue gun. Ooh, crap. Oh yeah, I gotta bring up my frame rate. That right there sucks. Wonder if I can still do it while I'm on. Probably not. Nope. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'll be back. Alright, y'all. That's better. Ooh, don't like that. I'll have to do shop. I ain't getting off again. Okay. We got one more of these, I think. And then I get a powerful one. So let's see which one. It's which one I want to do now. I guess I do the first one. Fury is the when you beat Gaul, so spank Gaul right quick and get it over with. See, we're gonna bring up some music. It's too quiet. Alright. Oh, well, it's not that. Dookie! What is going on, dudes? That's one of my mods, y'all. Dookie is a husband-wife team, part of the she's a wife team, part of the wife, husband-wife team. She's the wife of the husband-wife team of mods. Kubo Magic is her wonderful husband, my brother. How are you, dear, today on this wonderful Monday morning? Anyways, not sharing the connection, bad. I have a hard time watching. Oh, did you? Okay, I had to check it out. I hadn't been on my thing in a while. That's probably why you hadn't seen me. I've been yeah, I know. Trying to do my 1 day of streaming now. Hey, Dukes, is my everything even? My game too loud or my music's too loud? Let me know what's up. Does it all sound
As
the
we
same?
all know, Zavala plans to attack the Almighty.
Typical Titan idiocy. I'm sure he thought, Gaul has a sun destroyer. I don't need a plan. I'll simply headbutt it.
It's desperation, Asher. Zavala has forgotten he might die. His final death.
Okay.
Head toward the heart of the energy mining operation, Guardian.
I think we're close, but so are the Taken. Vex, too.
We'll use a war mine, part of an interplanetary defense network, to scan the Almighty.
Why my aim is off?
Ikora, we found another drill. This one's big. Really big.
Good. That drill pierced an entrance to the war mine vault. The scanner's inside.
Gotcha. Let's find the drill controls and get it out of the way.
That's how you clear the room.
We've got the power going, but the drill is still in our way.
Ha! What a gloriously irritating commitment to safety standards.
There has to be a manual override somewhere in that base.
These are lift controls for the drill, but they're locked. We'll need to override them.
Where is that?
I'm detecting a spike in paracausal energy. Steroneutrino particles have quintupled.
He means watch out for the Taken. You should hire a translator, Asher.
Yeah, it's a little rainy today. Raining at during most day. Some days I get good stuff, and the other day I don't. Just gonna have to work with it today, y'all. Jesus. I don't like my stuff look janky like this, but should take pride in how my stream looks. Really? I guess I get in the room in time. Okay. Skip. Oh my, skip frame. Long. Really? good place to be. I thought that would work, but that didn't work either. Okay.
Nice work. Let's find that override. I think we've got the drill going.
Good. Return to the drill site and get into the Warmind vault. I am eager to discredit Vuvu Zayla's plan to attack the Almighty.
Dang it, I died before I even get there. Let y'all keep this out on y'all own.
So, what's a war mine, exactly?
It's a kind of artificial intelligence designed to defend humanity against the unknown.
Whoa, the drill's on.
What? Lift it up before it collapses the Warmind vault.
How? Oh, over there.
Finally. Let's get down to the vault. Asher, Ikora, we're on our way into the vault.
This will be rich. I will ask Zavala, can you tell me in zetajoules the Almighty's expected destructive capacity? And he will say, no, Asher, I cannot, because I am a reckless fool.
Ignore Asher. Find the war mine, reconnect it to the network, and we'll handle the rest.
remember doing these missions, boy, when you was at like level 10 and 20, and it's crazy, man. Activate. Okay.
Reconnecting to the Warmind network to begin a remote scan.
Yes. We can see the connection coming online.
Hang on, we've got taken.
Ah, man. Help us. I need teleport. Okay.
How's the scan going?
Poorly. The Almighty is inextricably bound to the harmonic resonance of the sun's magnetic flux tubes.
What?
If Zavala blows
Is
up the
stranded.
Almighty, it'll take the sun with it.
Whatever.
It's time I rejoined my fire team.
Yeah. Sunny.
Tell me again, Speaker, what makes your guardians worthy of the light?
Fine.
What is the price of such power and immortality?
Devotion,
Keep it. Cover it.
self-sacrifice, death.
Death. Explain.
Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. Sacrifice leads to death. So, feel free to kill yourself.
Devotion. Sacrifice.
Space Bane.
I was born an outcast. A runt. As is custom with the Cabal, I was cast aside and left for dead. I was taken in by an old scholar himself, disgraced, who saw in me something redeemable. He raised me, taught me, trained me, and in return, I would become a vehicle for his revenge against an empire that failed him, that failed itself. Rejection, ridicule, torment. It made me stronger. I gave everything to it, not just acceptance, but glory. Beneath my mask, Speaker, is the face of devotion and sacrifice. I will not take the light by force. To do so would be to admit failure. And I never fail. Now, do you see why I will be chosen?
I see now. I see all that you have done.
Our operation on the Jovian Moon was a success. Once the cage is complete, we will have everything we need to begin the process of extracting the light. Dominus, everything we worked for is here, for the taking. All that remains is your word.
No. This is not the way, old friend.
But it is the way. The only way.
Not for me.
can do some. What we got? Daily Gambit. Gambit Prime matches. Got 3 of them. Any daily crucibles? Nope. I guess it do. No, I got Flashpoint or heroic thing or something. Just hack the planet. Gathers and stuff. Do this last sector right quick. Need some resources. You know what? No. Let me do this. She got bounties. If I go to her, get bounties, then I can do the bounties, and that will help me get my database. Give me at least 30 of them. If I get, they usually do like a 10 pack. So if I do 10, yo, bounty, I'll put me in. Over there. Excuse me. There's one. So it was good to follow him too. I had to come this way anyway. I ain't fail safe. What kind of bounties you got there, girl?
Hello, Captain.
Hello. Let's see. Cabal on Nessus. Okay. Know where that's at. Sniper kills. Loot chest.
Well chosen.
Yeah, I'll do it. Jesus, I don't even have a sniper rifle. Alright. Time to bring up the dim. snipe out the vault. I think I dismantled one. It was high level. Now, oh, that's my time with that. No, I'm doing that one. I'm not doing my sniper kills. So oh. Let me help with that. Dang, I did it already? Jeez. I ain't gonna even do this heroic mission.
Hey team, I know how we can hook failsafe up to the Nessus core and mine all the data we could ever want. Just help me place these beacons and I'll explain.
Oh, it's up there.
These beacons should allow us to hook failsafe into the Nessus core. Think of all the data she could pull.
It is a proactive and clever plan, friendly ghost. I still think it's a bad idea.
Dead.
This will work, trust me. You know how I usually hack and scan stuff for us?
I do.
This one's all you.
How fun.
here right quick. Cause he got some stuff too I need. Right, I'm here as well. Look at these transfer steps. I like these transfer steps. Make me move faster. Then they're pretty. Okay. Got something, buddy?
Callus has seen the end.
Yeah,
You
got some.
want more? Seek out the Emperor.
Collect orbs of light. Do that. Strike. Comes through strikes. Get that.
The Emperor possesses
daily
far
bounty,
more than
yeah.
this.
Defeat enemies with precision final blows. Dang, 150. Quick prime engrams. Yeah, it's gonna take
You
a while.
have earned this. So says the Emperor.
How many of these things I can get?
You want more? Seek out the Emperor.
Yeah, well, I can get more than one. I don't have enough of them.
Ready.
Total much. These chests up. Yeah. Get some glimmer. So I gotta break down some stuff. Elite. It's ugly on this thing. I need something. Give me glimmer. Huh. Yeah, I need to go ahead and finish this. Just after I start getting some more glimmer. Alright, let me go here. Get somebody sleeping. What's this? Do anything.
Core is open. Get ready, failsafe.
I am practicing my best Vex impressions. Please do not let them capture me, Captain.
Just treat it like tightrope walking. Don't think about it.
You're not helping.
You can do this, failsafe. I believe in you.
If they kill me, I will haunt your shell. I have interfaced with the Nessus 4.
See? Easy. Grab everything that's not nailed down.
The Vex are attempting to impede my progress. There should be a conflux nearby. Please stabilize it for me.
Start data tube. Okay. Q's. Where the Q's at? Stabilize it. Already trying to interface with it, it's not letting me. Okay, something wrong. How do you hack it? Yeah, it's glitched. Something's wrong. Yeah. Okay. It's it, but it's not letting me hack it. This sucks. Alright. I'm gonna have to get out. I'm gonna have to get cut a little bit, get back in it. 'Cause it's sacking up. So matter of fact, I'm gonna do something else. I'm not doing. Let's try it again.
team, I know how we can hook failsafe up to the Nessus core and mine all the data we could ever want. Just help me place these beacons and I'll explain. These beacons should allow us to hook failsafe into the Nessus core. Think of all the data she could pull.
It is a proactive and clever plan, friendly ghost. I still think it's a bad idea.
This will work, trust me. You know how I usually hack and scan stuff for us?
I do.
This one's all you.
How fun.
Core is open. Get ready, failsafe.
I am practicing my best Vex impressions. Please do not let them capture me, Captain.
Just treat it like tightrope walking. Don't think about it.
You're not helping.
You can do this, failsafe. I believe in you.
If they kill me, I will haunt your shell. I have interfaced with the Nessus core.
See? Easy. Grab everything that's not nailed down.
The Vex are attempting to impede my progress. There should be a conflux nearby. Please stabilize it for me. Thank you, Captain. Now eliminate those data cubes. They contain security protocols that are blocking my progress.
You're a pro. I knew this could work.
The Vex are fighting back. I have marked other confluxes for stabilization. Destroy the cubes they generate.
Failsafe, Vex have sent a mind after us. Failsafe, any updates? Okay, so she's been captured by the Vex. I'm so sorry. I can fix this. Get me the data core from that mine. Failsafe's gotta be in here somewhere. Help me get rid of the interference from these confluxes, and I should be able to lock onto her location.
Burnt himself. Stay back. Shoot him.
Got her. Locked her in a cube construct. Take out the Vex and we'll free her. I hope it's not too late.
Thank you, Captain. I I have spent the last decade speaking with a fellow prisoner.
A decade? It didn't take us that long.
I must work differently within the network. He was a very good listener. It's a shame I couldn't take him with me. He showed me a myriad of potentialities for this galaxy. How the Vex intend to shape them, I will share with your vanguard.
I'm so sorry I put you through that.
But you did. And I never forget those who wrong me.
Oh dang, I got another one. Probably a higher level one. Yeah, so screw it. I'll keep it. Zen moment sideways. Grave robber. I like grave robber. I mean, every time I melee one. Okay, I'll put that one on that. Let's see. Target acquisition against power. Yeah. Oh, I ain't got enough to it yet. Jesus. Okay. Okay, I think I'm do of a see what I got left. Let me do this in the Cabal one. So we can get Maul are usually near this area. Watch is great. No. Yeah, watch is great. Because they usually be in that area. Running off caffeine or prayer, y'all. I'm gonna eat later. To that side, what I'm gonna eat though? Got grocery shop. It's gonna taste awesome. Alright. Alright, where am I? Okay. Let's just go back to where I was.
Another ether delivery incoming. This is always exciting.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Artifacts edge. That'll give me the Cabal as a public event. I got a friend. There's a thing on Nexus that I'm supposed to be doing. This is part of. Let's see if I have that on here. So I have it on Xbox, I have it on one, and I have it on the other one. Yeah. It's supposed to be a high value target on 150 precision kills is a lot. That's like a ongoing thing. Let me look this up because I want to find these high value targets. Nessus. So like you have the forge too. Okay. Spawn a basic black grass or wait for one foreign captain to appear, kill the captain. Once captain downs the village. So I just need to go back where I was. X is black. Do I have that? Because that's Forge Saboteur thing. I think I got it on one character, not the others. Okay, y'all gotta stop shooting me, by the way. Enough is enough. The precision kills I need to get. It's easy to get precision kills on them. I can stay here the whole time and just shoot them. They gonna spawn in like 5, 10 at a time. Oh, it disappeared. Here we go. They're back. Okay. Take my Thunder Man. Speaking of thunder, I got a that's a thing I want to upgrade too. took it. Crap. Track that since it's more important than this Iron Banner stuff. Snipe, I'm not doing that one. Cash. Oops. Ball or nothing. Okay. We've got chest.
already predicted the outcome of this venture.
Safe? What are the odds we take this land?
As good as always.
Kill 30 of them or something. little dude who joined me on this thing, he's just about doing the same thing I am. It's killing me.
We got the ship.
Yep, done that one. That was sturdy.
Another lander turned to scrap.
My calculations suggest you have reduced local Red Legion morale by 28%. Congratulations.
So how much you got in material now? 17. Make a difference if you 25, but so I need to go back to the exit black and wait for the captain to spawn. Then I kill him. Well, I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna knock it out. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go to the bathroom right quick. I'll be back.
Help me help you. Help me help.
Their delivery incoming. This is always exciting.
All right. Here for this cap. Usually comes around here somewhere.
There's that servitor again.
Actually, this is a new servitor. When you kill them, they stay dead.
There we go. Servitors are so touchy. Another servitor bites the dust.
Oh,
Ether
that's him.
everywhere.
Please be careful not to breathe it in. I'll log this with the rest of your incredible victories.
I'll kill him. He goes for it. Go on a little bit of quest. Do some questing. So we're gonna open up this new forge. Let's see. See what he says. Okay. Series cast, investigate. Kill Scourge operates intercepted on Nessus, reveals 7 center operations here on Nessus. Investigate Civics center operations to track the origin of tainted black on gear. Okay. Let's drag it. Where is this supposed to be? Alright, we gotta look again, because I don't know. Good shot at. Somewhere where I can't get shot at. Alright. Alright. So I kill him.